It is a cool, airish morning here in the mountains of southern Appalachia. Matt and I are out this morning. We're going to pretty much harvest everything that's left from the summer garden. We probably won't get all the okra because it may continue to grow a little bit. We won't pick all the tomatoes. We'll leave them. We're going to get in the winter squash, try to get the peppers and the peas, and kind of put those areas to bed. I'm not sure if we'll pull anything out today, but if we just get all the winter squash, that'll be something I've been worrying about a frost coming, so that'd be good. Matt's he's working on the wagon here. We're gonna put the squash in, but the tires are flat, so he's gonna see if he can pump them up before we start. Good morning, buddy. Matt's using a nifty little, what do you call that? Just a pump, I guess?
Bicycle pump.
Bicycle pump. Now for the other side. Uh-oh, did you lose it? Oh. The cutting helicopter has moved closer to our house, so you can hear it. There you go, you can see it right there. Every once in a while you can get a glimpse of it and its giant saw. It's going over through the trees that way. Ready to go? So I think we're going to start with these two beds up here on the top, get the rest of the peas off of them that are left. There's hardly any, a handful, and then get the peppers. So we got just a few peppers and more peas than I thought. Some of them are green, but we went ahead and got them anyway. Most of these are the calico that our friend Robert shared with us. There's a few of the Holstein, but there wasn't hardly any, maybe about 5, really, just about 5 pods of the Holstein. And the rest of them will be the calicos. So that's way better than I thought. And good to have peppers too. So next up is we're going to get the winter squash from this volunteer plant back here. Matt's seen a little honeybee flying around. It better hurry, hadn't it?
It sure had.
Winter's coming quick. This squash, it volunteered, and it's putting out new growth. You can see it, new blooms and everything, but it's not, there's no way any of that's going to produce. So we're going to go ahead and pull it out and try to get the squash. And we always like to take our winter squash to the porch and let them stay there for a while till true cold weather gets here, and then we'll take them inside.
Yep. Something in there. I guess it's another one of these. Looked like a cucumber for a second.
It's a little one, but it's pretty. Got a lot of weeds. Tomatoes. Got a hole in it. You can push it, throw it.
Push it, you think?
Yeah. Is this the biggest one, or is there a bigger one?
It's about the same size as the
Same
biggest
size, so we're not sure what they are. Volunteer. I'm hoping they'll be good. Here you go, sorry. So that's the largest one, and there's one, Matt said, about that same size.
We're gonna eat them?
Yeah, I'm gonna eat them.
I'm hoping, since we don't know what they are, that we don't need them and turn bright pink.
I think that's all of them, but we better look one more time. I didn't quite make the bank. We've still got a lot of the Matt's cherries growing. Look at that. They will produce right up till frost. We're not going to harvest them though. They're the teeniest little tomato, about the size of a blueberry, wouldn't you say, Matt?
Yeah, a little bigger.
A little bigger than a blueberry. They're really tasty though, but we just come out and get some when we want them to eat, or, you know, want them with supper or something like that. But they are very, very prolific, and the best thing about them is they replant themselves every year.
And the tiny terrorist likes them.
Yeah, and the tiny terrorist likes them too. There's a few green Cherokee purple, so we're going to go ahead and pick them. Now behind the tomatoes, we've got all those grow bags, and they've still got potatoes in them, Matt. You remember that?
Yeah.
But we're not going to get them today, I don't guess. We'll worry about these tomatoes. Some of them have got bad places, but Matt said it'd be awful good to have some fried green tomatoes.
Gosh, yeah.
So we ended up with about a basket full. Apparently me and Matt are blind. We thought they were all gone. We thought there was a few right here, but turns out there was some further down too. Some of them had bad places in them, and we got rid of them. So some of these we'll eat, fried green tomatoes, so Matt can have some. Some of them we might try, Matt. You know, Granny always, she would get green ones, wrap them in newspaper and put them in a box and put them, you know, under the bed, under the table, whatever. And then they ripen slowly like that. So we might do that with some of them. Of course, if you just lay them in your kitchen, they'll usually ripen like that too. Up here in the front of the garden, there's just a very few pumpkins to get. I don't know, do you see any peas through there, Matt? We had to beat our way through the zinnias first to get here.
Just one or two. Oh, I see.
They'd fallen out in the walkway, so I cut them back. I've cut them back 3 or 4 times, but it might be the last time this year. Some of them up here have fallen over and come back up and blooming. I tried to leave those. They're so pretty. So let's see if we can get those pumpkins. One butternut. We grew one butternut. That's so crazy. Usually we're covered up with butternut. This one's got a bad place. I don't know. Maybe I could go ahead and fix it.
You just getting the purple ones or what?
Tan colors or green.
Look what that thing does. It goes off down through yonder, stays gone a while. I bet it's going to refuel.
Oh, wow.
And it makes this trip right back up through here. Makes a big loop in the circle.
Matt's watching the helicopter through the trees. Me and Greenie got a good look at it the other day. I had to take her to the doctor, and it was in a pasture down the way here. And real up close, we could see the big saw and see everything real plain. And Granny's funny. She said, "Wonder if they'd come up to my house and do some tree cutting." I said, "I don't think so." Well, I think that's it, Matt.
Good.
We've still got okra growing. And of course our fall stuff, so we're not going to harvest none of that today. I got some bugs right here in this area we've disturbed. So pretty good, I guess. So this is our winter squash haul for the year. There's one more little pumpkin on the porch, and then there's one giant pumpkin up there. Not a pumpkin, a winter squash. It's I planted a green and white striped cushaw, but it looks totally different than any we've ever grew before. But one of them, it grew 3, and 2 of them, something happened to them, and they just kind of deflated. Something on the inside, something got inside them, I guess. Anyway, this is not a winter squash haul that we usually have. We usually grow much more than this, but last year wasn't a good year, and this year wasn't a good year. This year it was our fault for planting them in the wrong place the first time, and then again this is the second planting. Well, most of this is the volunteer planting, or we wouldn't even have this. So thank goodness for volunteers. But maybe next year will be better. Still a lot of food though, so we can't complain. And this is our last of our green big tomatoes. A little bit of peppers left that we had. And the peas, we just mixed. These were those Mississippi pink eyes. I just mixed them all together. We'll probably eat them all together like that. Some of them are green, but I just went ahead and got them just so we'd be done with the peas for this year.
Another vintage 21 there, looks like.
It's this year's. It's fairly new, and boy, I got the camera crooked, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
We'll just be crooked, I guess.
I believe I'd fix that. That's a little rough.
That's some better. Maybe a little.
I guess.
Well, kind of sad to see the end of the summer garden, but also kind of good, because then you're like, I won't have to worry about that for a while. All the weeds and the bugs, the pestilence, and all that. It's one thing about a fall garden is it seems easier because there's not as much pressure on it. Don't you think so, Matt? You kind of just plant it and forget about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I guess if you had a rabbit or a groundhog or something like that come through, or deer, they could clean you out in one night. You'd have to worry about that. But as far as the summertime stuff, seems like you don't have to worry about it as much.
Much acorns as they are in the woods right now, they ain't gonna bother nothing here. We still have those potatoes back there to get. Of course, we still have our sweet potatoes. They're still in the ground. They're still lush and pretty, still putting out blooms. Maybe all vines and no taters. We'll have to see. Didn't you though? Did you dig down in there one day and see? Yeah, it's been a while, and I think I felt one or two, but they were kind of small at that time. But that's been over a month ago.
Well,
They've probably made
probably made about all we're gonna do.
Probably.
I mean, they've been in there since June. That's about long enough. It's October.
Yeah. So we still have to do that. Get those potatoes in the back. The oakery's still producing, although slower because it's cold weather. It doesn't like that. The nights have been in the 40s. And that's about it, ain't it? Have I forgot something? Other than the fall stuff that we're not worried about frost hurting it.
That's pretty much it. Now we got to do a set in to eating all this stuff.
Yeah,
that
we
we
already
put up.
have been. We've already been eating it.
Yeah.
We've already been eating green beans and potatoes we canned and the coleslaw we canned. We've already been eating a lot of it.
Here we come back.
In our live last week, somebody asked about how to deter, talking about those animals like the rabbits and groundhogs and stuff, was how do you keep raccoons? They had trouble with raccoons and skunks. Like, I don't think it was actually in their garden, was it, Matt? It was more just around their sidewalks and stuff coming up. So lots of people give different suggestions of what they could do. Here comes the big helicopter again. Trying to wait for it to leave a little bit. Anyway, a lot of people give them different suggestions what they could do. But it was interesting because a few days before that, when Matt was going hunting, he had a skunk encounter, which was unusual.
Yeah, it was. It was just at daylight. I was going out the end of the yard to go up the side of the mountain where I hunt, and something caught my eye at the top of the bank above our house, and it was I could just see it just snaking down through the weeds, and it was a skunk, and it was coming right to me.
But it was unusual to tell what it looked like.
Oh, it was white, all over
Solid white.
And I've seen them before. You don't see many of them, or I don't. But yeah, it was solid white. Tail was white, and its whole body was white. Big old nasty looking thing, and they're pretty big, pretty long, you know. And I thought to myself, I hope Binks don't find that.
You had just let Binks out, hadn't you?
Just had turned him loose, and I thought, my goodness, I hope he don't get a hold of that.
It wasn't very scared of you, was it?
I don't know if it ever saw me, but it was going towards the same place I was going towards, so I didn't want to run into it. So I just kind of backed up and made a circle around the house to try to get behind it, because I don't think it ever did see me. I just wanted to see where it was headed to, but once I went around the house, I never saw it again. I just went on up the side of the hill and up on top of the ridge to hunt.
I've never seen a white one.
They were solid white, and I've seen them before, but not very often.
I'm not sure I've even ever seen one right around here. I've seen them in other places where Matt deer hunts in Georgia, and one time we was up on the parkway, I seen them up there, but I don't think I've ever seen a skunk here. If I have, I don't remember.
Smell them all the time.
Yeah, I smell them all the time where the dogs are chasing them and stuff, but it's fairly common to come out in the morning and smell skunk. Or be driving along the roads here and smell it, you know. You may do that too. So they are numerous here. You just, I guess, seldom see them. Are they nocturnal? Do they just come out at night, or?
I don't really know that much about them. I think probably they do a lot of what they do at night. But I think they'd be out some in the daytime too.
Yeah.
Just probably not where you can see them much, but I don't think anything stays in all day long and just comes out at night, except maybe an owl, maybe.
Yeah.
But you hear that all the time about deer, they're nocturnal. Them things has got to feed every 3 or 4 hours or whatever it is, and they've got to have so much poundage of browse a day for their system to work properly, so they got to be on their feet sometime during the day.
Yeah.
And I think the vast majority of animals are that way. At some point they'll be on their feet sometime during the day. You just don't see them.
Yeah.
You're not where they are.
Yeah. It's a real pretty day isn't it? Real pretty.
Yeah, it
You
is.
see the colors starting to change. I don't think this year will be as beautiful as the leaves usually are. It's what people are saying. I don't know. I think they're pretty every year, though. People say this is a peak year. I'm like, well, I think they're beautiful every year. But
Well, yeah, they're pretty every year, no matter make any difference how bright they are, or if they turn and or dull or whatever. It's just that's all driven by the tourism, I believe. Those people, they get on.
trying to see
They get
exactly.
their hackles up if it's not going to be as pretty because they probably ain't making
want to
as much
pinpoint
money.
it so that people can come and all that.
Right.
It is especially pretty though when they start turning, and then like today, because we had a cold night last night and still cool. I'm freezing, sitting here freezing. I don't know why I'm eating a popsicle. I need a hot chocolate. But the sky is real blue. It's really pretty,
Real clear.
real clear as a bell. Yeah, the
That
humidity
summertime haze is
is
gone.
gone. Yeah, the humidity's
And
gone.
I like that.
Yeah. So it's real pretty. Those yellows and reds and the blue sky and the green, they're still green, so real pretty. I was thinking about, I guess this is a true mark of getting old, thinking about changes. As you get older, you think about how everything's changed. Of course, you think about like, how we all have our cell phone, or most people do, carry it around with us everywhere we go. And, when I was a little girl, we had a party line, thinking about how different that's come. But even between then and now, like in the early, when was that, Matt? Like 2010 or something like that, or maybe a little bit. I guess it was about then. I went back to college. Was that about right when I first went back to Tri-County?
Yeah, something like that.
And one of my teachers there, was taking computer classes, like computer information was my degree, and web technologies when I finished. But he said, we're sitting in a room full of sitting at computers everywhere, and he was up there talking, lecturing about stuff, and he said, pretty soon what was going to happen was we were all just going to have a computer in our pocket, and we wouldn't have the desktop. It's what we were sitting at. And I thought, I don't know about that. Well, boy, he was right,
Just
wasn't
thinking,
he?
wow, my goodness.
He was right. Anyway, but you think about changes like that, and of course TV and it's just so drastically different than when me and Matt was little. But what got me to thinking about this was I took Granny to the doctor this week, and I was thinking about Matt saying he was a hermit now, but saying how that we do stay home so much that we're always anxious to get back home. Now, I was always anxious when we were working a job every day. You always look forward to the end of the day so you can go home. And even then, it's like, because me and Matt both were blessed in the latter part of our working for the public that for a long time we worked for the college, which is real close to us. So it wasn't like we had to drive a great distance. Now, when me and Matt was first married and I was pregnant with Corey and Katie, I had to drive, 30 minutes, 30 minutes every day to work. But even then, I thought this, but it was me and Granny. We were coming back from Peachtree. I was thinking, it's almost like when I get to the red light there below the college coming towards Brasstown, I'm like, back this far. Then I get to Clay's, I'm like, okay, almost home, turn on that road, go by the folks school and all that. Then I really feel like that when I turn onto our road. And, I was just thinking how silly that is in my mind to feel like, it's almost like I'm making a hurdle. But then that made me start thinking about how those roads have changed, like how that red light was never that, wasn't there till they built the new road, we call it. And the new road is how old?
20-something years
That's
old.
very old. And it's like I was trying in my mind to remember, like, it's hard to even remember what it looked like without the new road. What was there?
Can't remember it.
Yeah, and all the times we went to town, we went straight through there. There was no red lights, just a road straight by the college on the river
just
road.
woods.
Yeah, I mean it's just so weird how your mind becomes so accustomed to it that it's hard to remember those times without it. If you're a local person, you probably, and you're older, you can remember how the intersection kind of there at Tri-County. It's not really an intersection now, but where you can turn to go like to the Dollar General over there. But that's been so many different configurations over the years, but you probably remember this. When I was a girl, it was just a highway that then divided itself. So if you was going to come on to Brasstown, you just stayed straight, but there was no lane beside you till it come back. You know, it was like a divided highway right there. And then the same, you took the other one to go on towards Hayesville, and of course it's not like that now. But it's just so interesting to think about all those changes, and then to try to get your mind to remember back, like what was that like? Like I can remember the River Road good, but then I'm like, but I don't really remember like driving past Big D and the hospital and all that. But of course I did. It's crazy, you know, how you're just so many changes. That's how life is, though. Nothing stays the same.
So in other words, you are now old enough to say, back in my day.
I am, yeah. I really am. Yeah, and of course, even the Brasstown Road has changed, you know. Even down there at Clay's has changed, you know, all the way. You can think of changes. Our road has changed. Our road was gravel till our state road that we live on is what I mean. Our driveway's still gravel, but till Corey and Katie was, what, 6, 7, 8 years old or something, it was still gravel. So many changes.
I wish it still was.
Yeah.
I like that. You don't see many gravel roads anymore, and it's a mile long. And I like that. I miss it, in other words.
I guess that helicopter is one more change. What would my Papa Wade think about that?
Well, he would be. He was a woodcutter, and he would have looked at that and said, "My goodness."
He would have been impressed with that. Yeah. So he lived his life. That was Pap's daddy, so Wade Wilson. He lived his life starting out cutting with a crosscut saw. You know, that's what he used. And then eventually times got better, and you know, modern technology got a power saw, and you know, but he couldn't imagine that.
Yeah.
And a helicopter with a big saw.
I can't hardly
I
imagine
can't
it. Me
either.
looking
I
at
know. But then it makes you wonder as time goes on. I'm thinking about Woodrow and Ira. Will they think like, you thought that was something? You know, I don't know. I used to wish two things about Papa that I could tell, you know, just that I could see his face, because he was comical anyway. He always had something funny to say about stuff. He was a very wise man, but he was funny. I wish I could hear what he would say about cell phones, and I've been wishing that since Matt had the very first cell phone, which was a bag phone, if y'all remember them, and him and Daddy worked building houses, so they needed it. And that's all you used it for. It was just in the truck for that, for calling, like building supplies or the inspection office or whatever. But what he would say about that, and then the other thing I've always wondered is what he would say about bottled water. You know, so those are the two things. But I guess now I can add a helicopter with a giant saw to the list of changes. I'd like to see what Papa said about him. He'd have something funny. Something wise, but something funny. He would. Granny, though, was just beat all. She said, "Reckon they'd come on up to my house."
I don't believe I'd want that around my house.
I told Paul when we got home what Granny had said, and he said, "Oh yeah, she would be happy if there wasn't a tree left in Wilson Holler." I said, "I know. She's afraid of them falling on, you know, houses, cars, whatever." So. It's part of life, though. Like Matt said, I've got old enough now that I can say I remember when.
Yep.
I remember the first time I realized, like, I could remember 20 years ago. I'm like, oh my gosh, how did I get old enough that I could remember 20 years ago? Well, now, of course, I can remember pretty much 40 years ago.
I remember 50 years ago.
I mean, I know, yeah, parts of my memories, yeah, would be 50 years ago. And I'm like, really? Did I just say that? How did I get to be that old? Of course, you don't feel old on the inside. I don't. Sometimes I feel like I'm about 12 years old still. Matt would say sometimes I act like it. No comment.
Well, I wasn't going to say that, but now that you mention it.
Yeah. Now that I bring it up, tell me I need to grow up a little.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can be awful silly. I could accuse you of that too. Get Corey and Katie and Matt together, and Austin. Austin's pretty silly too.
Yeah.
And they can get downright ridiculous, silly.
And what's even funnier than that is when we do get that way, you can see the expression on them two little boys, and then they jump in.
Yeah, they don't even know what they're doing,
They don't know
but
what they're doing.
but they try to jump in and do stuff.
But
Yeah.
they know it's being silly,
Yeah.
and they just get right in the middle of it.
Yeah, yeah, they both inherited that. I don't have that really, so I'm usually the one standing back looking at them. Matt says I have no sense of humor. So, but yeah, they think they start laughing like they don't even know what's really going on, and Ira will start
Yeah.
doing his head
Yeah.
crazy, and then Woodrow starts. Woodrow does like a, yeah, they're funny.
And then they both start squealing.
Yeah, and start just this piercing, ears piercing scream just to be fun. They think they're being funny. It gets pretty rowdy at our house sometimes.
Yep.
But yeah, Austin was, I mean, he's great in so many different ways. Me and Matt could have never picked anybody better than Austin. We just love him. He's so good to Corey, so good to Woodrow, and just good to us too, though, good to everybody. But he fits in with the silliness.
Yep.
He's as silly as Corey and Katie are. Really is. Paul and Matt used to get silly like that with Daddy, and he didn't know. He's like me. He didn't have that silliness, so he didn't know what to think, did he? He just look at them like,
Now you get about half man.
yeah. Yeah. Well, what you got to do the rest of the day, Dad?
I don't know. I'm going to piddle around getting ready to getting the wood stove area ready to, because we're just right before starting to burn wood, and
Yeah.
make sure everything's back out away from the stove and the stove's ready and that sort of thing. And by the way, where is my ash buckets? Because I can't find them.
I don't know. I don't think I've done nothing with them. They're always behind the stove,
I
right?
ain't now.
I don't know. My first advice would be to ask your daughter.
I mean, I don't think I moved them. I don't ever move them except to empty them, but they're just not in there anywhere. They're not even in the basement.
Well, that mystery will have to be resolved immediately, won't it?
Well, if I can't find them, I'll just have to use your best bean pot to
No,
clean them
you
out
can't
with.
use that. Can't use that. It is interesting. We must have moved them when we were, maybe me and you moved them when we were over there building the wall.
I don't know, but I don't know where they're at.
Well,
I'll look for them some more in a little while.
you still got to get on the
After,
roof. On the,
after you get through making me lunch.
yeah, after I make your dinner. You got to get on the roof and do the chimney sweep.
Yeah, I
You
gotta-
got to put on your chimney sweep hat.
Get my big tall hat on.
Yeah. I feel better now. I mean, about the getting all the stuff in. If it does frost, there's no forecast of frost right now, but
But we're getting close.
we're getting close. And the peppers, especially, there's so much liquid or there's so much water or whatever in them, pepper juice, that they just, I mean, it just ruins them if they get. So I feel good about that. The pumpkins would probably be all right, and the squash, but I've been wanting to get them in and get them on the porch too. So we didn't do a whole lot, but we checked off our list one of the things we needed to do
All right.
before it gets any colder. And we hope you enjoyed coming along with us for that. And I guess I'm gonna go in and make Matt something for dinner. I guess you'd like some fried green tomatoes, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I don't know what we'd have to go with it, but
I don't know, you got any leftovers in the refrigerator?
we could, yeah, I got leftovers. Could do that, make them tonight
With your
with
leftovers?
leftovers.
Okay.
That might be what we do.
Okay. Well, how about a grilled cheese or a deviled ham or beanie weenies or
I figure I'll find something. Or I'll
Yeah,
find
that.
something that you can make me.
you come up with something. That's
You
all
ain't
right.
got to make me nothing. I can take care of myself.
I know you can, but cooking for you makes me happy.
Well, that's nice.
I'm a nice lady, remember?
Yeah,
Except when I'm not laughing at your silliness.
except when I get the silent treatment, then you ain't nice lady. Then you mean lady.
I ain't mean. Would you rather me, when I'm upset, not be silent, scream and yell like some people?
Yeah, then just blow it all out and get it over with, and then we can move on. 2 days of me trying to figure out what I done is no fun.
I'm sorry, it's not how I'm made.
Then I have to stop what I'm doing and start backtracking and say, now what did I do? What did I say? What happened here?
I ain't give you the silent treatment in a long time.
Yeah, you have.
When?
About 2-3 weeks ago, I got about a day and a half of it. And I don't even remember what it was, but I remember I knew I'd done something, or I'd said something, or whatever, and that you did not approve of. And not only did I get the silent treatment, I got the bubble effect, which means when she got within so much proximity of me, she went around and just kept going, no speaking, not even getting close enough. She just totally avoided me like I was, I don't know, had some kind of disease or something. And then on about the end of the second day, it must have wore off. Because she come down the hall just like nothing had happened and say, "When you want supper?"
Well, maybe I wasn't mad at you. Maybe I was mad at somebody else then.
Well, even if you are mad at somebody else, you should still talk to me.
That's true. It's one of my faults. When I get mad, I don't talk. One of my many faults.
Now you ain't got many faults. I got plenty.
No, you don't. We make a pretty good pair.
One of which you're about to find out soon.
Why?
My lack of willpower when it comes to buying boom booms.
You bought another gun?
I did.
Well, okay. I've never stopped you from buying anything.
Okay, good. So stay tuned for the next video when you'll get to see the silent treatment in action.
No. I never stop you from spending money. And you've never stopped me from spending money. We just generally don't spend money, so I figure if you buy something, it's something you need or you really, really want or whatever. You justify it, and I justify it. What if I buy something?
It will feed you, so
Yeah,
it's one of them kind.
that's good. We like to be fed, for sure.
Yep.
And I guess I'll go in and feed you now.
Okay.
We're always glad when you stop by to help us celebrate Appalachia.